stress effect. You're just a piece of shit, man.
I don't. Why are you bringing this up?
You're just a piece of shit. Really.
Can we just please just start the podcast?
Please start the podcast, but first you gotta you're a piece of shit. I mean, you're a piece of shit.
All right. I'm a piece of shit. And welcome to the podcast. This is Bad Writers with me, Burt Burlington. And just like always, I always have with me Noa Mouritzen-Ward. You can find him at Noa Mouritzen-Ward.
No.
NJ Mouritzen-Ward.
Which I'm not sure if I'm NJ or Noah yet in writing. But I'll tell you one thing. Today, I feel like recording a podcast. Today,
I feel like a bad writer. so NJ, like, if you're fans, if you have fans, how would you call them? If you do you know which name?
We know. What's up, my N-jiggers?
It really all right. Let's just breeze past it. There's nothing racist has been said here. Nothing racist has been said.
Jigger is great. It's like you want to do the jiggle, or like you're jigging it up, and you put an N in front of that. Then it's N-jiggers. I don't know. It might be great. It might be great. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, it's very. I can make one cut.
Like,
cut,
you could.
and then
someone could make. Someone could also
and it was
just
you
make,
who said the N-word first.
Someone could just make a cut actually pretty easily now, and then
your career is over.
My career's over before it even started.
Everyone used to say N-jiggers.
You've just said it now.
I want to go down with this ship. I go down with this ship. I'm loyal.
I got loyal as well. I've got loyalty. I've got loyalty for it. Right.
Let's get right into what we want to talk about, and that's we watched a movie because we do that type of things.
Is your camera catching this?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's catching a lot of things, like your double chin as well.
I'm gonna sit like this. Though.
Yeah. Oh, you can do that, man. That's all right. I will give you some extra heads.
No, I'm gonna move.
I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. All right.
Let's get right into the podcast. Oh, fuck.
Oh, what did you?
What the fuck is happening? All right, okay.
This is awful. But let's get right into it right now. All right, Taxi Driver. We watched Taxi Driver. Mm-hmm. It was a movie, like I have this thing that I always save, like great movies, and I knew this would be a great movie. And let's just get right into it. It's about this guy who's a Vietnam vet who gets back from duty and just doesn't know what to do with his life and just becomes a cab driver. And it's Robert De Niro, who I think it's tough to say. Like anybody else playing Travis would say like that's a role of a lifetime, but like it's Robert De Niro, so I feel like he has multiple roles of a lifetime.
Yeah, but this was like one of his first.
Probably he was young there. He was quite young.
He was playing 26-year-old.
Yeah. But yeah, the story was, it's a very slow movie. We watched it late at night. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I knew it would be a fighting thing, so I felt like he's going to fight.
You
like
thought
a
it was
cat
going to be
fight.
like Scarface or something. Like
yeah,
some
a
little
bit.
It's really not an action movie.
I thought he's going to fight people in the cab or something. I don't know what
Fake taxi.
Yeah, he's fake taxi.
That's what he thought it was.
Fake taxi, and then every time
he's
when
like,
people...
Robert De Niro's in this? I'm like, yeah. He's like, fake taxi? I was like, yeah. He's like, we got to watch that shit. I was like, all right. He's like sitting there the whole time. He's just waiting. He's got a little hole in his pocket, and he's like just sitting there with his hand in his pocket. He's like, when the fuck is the...
No, when you said fake taxi, I felt like it's like that. But yeah, instead of like doing that, he's like he punches people in the face when he's getting it. Right? It's like not real taxi. Yeah. That's what I thought it was.
This movie's intense.
Yeah,
it's wonderfully filmed. Scorsese's proudest film, right?
Yeah.
He said
it's his favorite.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
I see it completely. It's like what's his name? Fuck, man. These kind of movies. When you think Scorsese, I mean, it makes sense. Taxi Driver is his favorite, but like he's made a lot of big movies, and you'd think Taxi Driver is a smaller budget by far compared to his other movies. You know what I mean?
I think it was only 9 million. No. I don't think that's true.
It wasn't much compared to like other stuff. Who the fuck did Blade Runner again? I can't believe it. Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott, his favorite film he's ever done, he's done a lot of films, is Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because they're both like movies that are very slow, that are very high in concept, but not that high in action. You know what I mean? It's more like the idea of the film, and the concepts being brought forth.
And I really could find myself in it.
Yeah.
By the way, it was 1.3 million only, the Taxi Driver.
This is the 70s too, so
yeah, but I don't know if there's like
inflation.
1,300,000 in that time, or I don't know how they do it, because then it's worth way much.
I think it's probably in that
like
time.
If you saw like how many the first thing I was super surprised by, it's like you have to see this. It's crazy. He goes into a cinema,
an adult cinema.
Oh, maybe that
porn cinema.
Yeah, and then he gets snacks, and he buys a candy wrapper, he got popcorn, he got a drink, and maybe another candy bar. $2.
Not even. It was $1.50, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was absolutely stumped by
Ruined my immersion.
Yeah. The ideas of the film was, if you had to encapsulate it in one word, like
loneliness. Probably
loneliness.
Is the word.
Yeah, definitely.
It really does. You can see the inspiration for Joker by this film so.
Oh yeah,
clearly,
of course, yeah.
So clearly.
Didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's a guy who's kind of like cast out by society. Is lonely, sitting in his apartment doing the same. Can't sleep. He's insomnia as well. That's why he becomes a taxi driver. He just drives around at night anyways because he can't sleep because he's a Vietnam vet.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, it's interesting as well because he also like tries to talk to women.
Yeah.
The way he thinks he knows how by being polite and very intense, but and he tries to talk to them and hit on them, but you realize like in the porn cinema, he tries to hit on that woman.
Yeah, but was that? Because I thought of that. I don't think that he was actually trying to hit on her. Or
just have a conversation.
I think he was practicing on Betsy because he was in love with Betsy, and he knew exactly where she was, and he was like already like patrolling her office, and always looking at her. But then he like, I have to talk to this woman. How am I gonna do this? And he was like, all right, I'm just gonna walk in here. I'm just gonna ask this woman, and let's see how it goes.
It goes awful.
So I thought it was awful. It went awful.
Like,
but I thought it was practicing.
Yeah, he might have been. I don't know. It's interesting as well with I like to see the kind of the way movies usually work is. Let's take Adam Sandler. Let's in this conversation with Taxi Driver. Scorsese's greatest. Let's talk about Grown Ups.
Yeah, we watched Grown Ups 1 and 2.
And
Paul Blart Mall Cop
1
yeah,
and 2.
So we
know our stuff. The schlubby Adam Sandler always gets the girl, right?
And the hottest woman.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Betsy's. I mean, she's attractive, right? She's a good-looking woman.
Definitely.
And she's interested in him because. Well, she probably doesn't get asked out by, random dude going up and just being like, "Listen, you're beautiful. I want to ask you out on a date." So I think she's intrigued by it.
Yeah, but that's he hit the nail on the head because the theme of the movie was loneliness.
Yeah,
and he just bluffed and he said like, I know you're lonely. Or maybe he knew, but it's not really a bluff because in that time, and especially in that place, New York City, people are lonely. Even though you are surrounded by people, you're still lonely.
Yeah.
And it's the through line for the entire story is loneliness and not knowing what you have to do in life.
Yeah.
And that's what.
But it's also with hang on, I gotta finish my grown-ups thought. Otherwise, I just put grown-ups into the eighth without any point, and then I'm like an idiot who's like, by the way, grown-ups too. What my point was, not even a big point, is that Adam Sandler gets the girl in this unbelievable fashion, and Taxi Driver kind of ropes you in with the thought that like, oh, Travis is actually probably gonna. Before they go to the dirty movie theater, she seems pretty interested in him.
Yeah.
And even though he's pretty intense when he talks, he's like, you're lonely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's pretty weird for a guy to just go up to a girl and be like...
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's straight. It's like, instead of saying, hey, I think you're beautiful, no one... He's pretty much like, your life sucks.
Yeah.
And you need me. And your eyes have only... I know you so well because I've stared at you in a taxi and your eyes are now only just glowing because you've seen me walk in the room. It's like really weird.
Yeah, but I remember when he walked out of the thing, you guys said, that's Riz.
Yeah.
And I was like, it wasn't like
I know, but it worked. Is what I meant. No, it was absolutely...
No,
it was no Riz at all. It would not work.
No.
But then I like the fact that then she really is, this guy's fucking weird. And then she leaves, and that's the last time they ever really talk, actually, except for when he bursts in the room and is like, you fucking bitch, blah, 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 all that stuff. That was my point. Adam Sandler got the chick and Robert De Niro. And I like that. That's a good movie, right?
Paul Blart also got... no, he refused the hottest girl who was in love with him. That's a Paul Blart Mall Cop movie.
Yeah, that's the Paul Blart Mall Cop movie. But I think this film kind of encapsulates really good as well. Like the fact that he takes it to a dirty movie, it's because that's all he knows.
Mm-hmm.
He takes people to dirty movies. He only sees dirty movies, so he thinks she only sees dirty movies. This is what people watch in their free time. So there's no like malintent with him. He's just, well, there is later on. Though,
well,
that moment.
He thought like because he's so lonely, he imagines everybody's lonely, and that's why he just gambled on her being lonely.
Yeah.
Which is sort of true. I feel everybody's a bit lonely.
Sure.
Because everybody has to fend for themselves.
And Travis has no friends either.
No
sleep either.
No. But so she is lonely, but she is by far not as lonely
as him.
As Travis.
No way.
Or psychotic.
No.
But the thing is, what I like about this movie is that they address a theme and that you can understand the character. Because I felt like I understand Travis. And I think I understand him. And I made the joke, or it's not really a joke, it's just an observation, is that he is an incel. That's like the nowadays incel. And I think it's a weird discussion. I'm not an incel. I just want to preface that, all right? That it's the thing with incels is that they why Travis is alone and he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a sense of being or a goal that he's going for. He doesn't have a purpose in life. And then what people do, and I did this as well a little bit, was he doesn't have anything, but he finds one thing, and that's Betsy. And he sees her as a goddess. And I did the same thing when I was 15, 16, because like that's a teenage years. That's just, we get all dramatic and we don't think we have anything in our lives. And then we see a girl and it's like, oh, I could be so happy together and stuff. And then it falls through, but that's just normal life. But he's more messed up. But he had then, he put her up as a goddess. Like he was like, that's the solution to all his problems. And when that fell through, and he was desperate, because he had some great scenes. I will get to that. That's why he snapped, I think, and that's and I think a lot of men have that, and that's why the incels, like they don't know what the purpose is, and then they it's like what men do. Some men do this in that they see a woman as a goddess, which is not healthy. Like we shouldn't idolize each other like that. That's crazy. We shouldn't see we should see each other as people. It's. I thought I was a nice person for thinking that a woman is like a goddess, but that's not healthy. It's not true, and it's not attainable. But it's also what other men do is when they do this, when they don't get the goddess thing, they snap to like horse.
Yeah,
they're all horse.
That's true,
and that's what Travis did as well.
Which is also funny because it's like, you don't have sex with me, you must be a whore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, doesn't make sense.
He knows she's having sex with other guys, but he's not good enough, and he's not working on himself. But anyway,
but it's also like the idea that then he's driving around at night and he doesn't get his girl, and but in the backseat he's got all these rich dudes with all these prostitutes in the backseat, so he knows they're having sex, but they're doing it because they are, like the scum of the earth, and and he also but then that takes us also into sport as a big character with he's a fucked up character actually. Yeah, that whole plot is.
I think he needs more screen time.
I agree.
I feel like he's very late in the story, only 75%, and then he is like the big target has to be killed. I feel like he has to be like a bigger character that has to be killed,
I agree, but at the same time, I don't know. It's like I think he gets just enough for me to hate him. I mean, he's a pedophile,
easily.
Sex trafficking.
Yeah, but I want to feel it more sweet that he's.
Well, he gets shot, so that's nice.
What I think is a weird decision is that the girl who was getting in the car in the beginning of the movie, who wanted to go away from her pimp, was Iris, the 12-year-old, Jodie Foster, and then she got dragged out of the car, and I didn't see who it was. I thought it was a black man, and then I was very surprised that this was the same guy. I think it would be better if we just like immediately saw his face through like the windshield. I thought it was and saying like, it's fine, all right, it's fine. He takes some money, it's fine, and then we know like, oh, that's a face, and then we see, oh, it's the same guy. That's better in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, in the video, I thought it was a black dude also dragging her out of the car. I thought so too.
Because it's so dark, and I don't know why keep his identity so dark. It was so dark,
so dark.
and I why keep his identity secret?
I couldn't tell either because it was like I thought the hand was black. It doesn't really matter. She's owned by pretty much how it works. She was
the
owned by Sport, right? And he's like, I got that scene where he's talking about all the things that you can do to her. Oh, dude, that was rough. It took
what's
me a
that when
while.
they're in the
When
bedroom?
Travis goes up to talk to Sport, and he's like, I'm interested in her. Yeah. Oh God, dude, that's awful.
Yeah, but I couldn't. At that time, I was like, oh, this is just normal, because I forgot that she was 12. And when Travis and her were in the bedroom, and she could see her face, like at some glimmer in the light,
Like,
you really saw like that's a child.
She is a child.
That's
Jodie Foster was a child.
Like, this is crazy. Yeah,
that's
that's crazy. Oh, an interesting fact. There were some sexual scenes that Iris had to play out, but they didn't make Jodie Foster do it. They actually made her sister do it. Those scenes. The older sister, like was 16 or something.
That's fine.
Yeah, but apparently they did
Don't
that.
get a body double. Well, that's the thing. That's another question I want to go on to then. Do you think they could make Taxi Driver today with those scenes? Do you think people would be okay with? Because I feel like in the 70s, people were okay with everything. I think it's a film, so I think it's completely fine to do it, especially because it's representative of something that's actually happening with sex trafficking. But like, do you think they'd actually? I don't think they'd hire a. Because now there's like, would
12-year-old?
you? Yeah, would you?
I think they probably make
Not these
Zendaya
days.
play it. I think she looks like a.
Oh, you
like
mean
a-
like a in the 20s to play a 12-year-old kind of thing?
Yeah, I think she looks like a.
Yeah, they
But
wouldn't
she's so
cast an
thin.
actual 12-year-old.
No, well, no.
Because then the question is then also like,
Well, it's about this. It's a real thing that happens,
Yeah.
and you want to inform people about it. So I think
You
you.
do.
sh-
but
Good.
but
12
do you think they would? I don't know. 12 is a child, bro. It's like a literal. But you know, then again, okay, they made that fucking movie on Netflix. What the hell was
Cuties.
that? Oh, dude, I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
watch
but that
it.
wasn't about sexuality.
No,
that
it
was just-
It was just straight up pedo. Fucking.
Yeah.
They had. Did you read? By the way, this is just going off the rails. Enough about cuties because that's disgusting. And French.
I think people like Travis are grossly undervalued or just overlooked. And going back to the incels, right? I think it's weird nowadays. Like people who were under marginalized or marginalized communities, they are told to rise up and get what you deserve. Like get what and don't be repressed anymore. And they have like it's Pride Month this month, right? And yeah, people should be helped. People who are different shouldn't be laughed at, shouldn't be frowned upon. But like incels, it's like I think it's weird that we just look down upon these people, even though like they are just like they make mistakes, yes, but I think these people need help.
Sure, I think the comparison is.
And by looking down upon them, they will just the incels will only grow.
I mean,
they will only get more bitter, and then they shoot up schools.
I mean, I agree with that. I don't think the comparison to Pride is a good comparison at all, though, because incels are you're not born an incel.
I know,
like
that's
that.
true. But like, no, but it's a Pride and the Pride Month and everything.
Born with a
and-
fedora.
No, but it's like it's a way of like showing that you're accepted. And incels, they shouldn't be. Everybody looks down upon them.
We need an incel flag.
I think we do.
We need an incel flag for the incels to run. Which month is not like some sort of celebration month? We got June is Pride month. Do we need an incel
Well, it
month?
has to be
Is
a
that
depressing
November?
month, like January.
Yeah, or November or something like that.
January when it's like snowy still out.
Incel month.
Yeah, incel. And then I think it should be January because then they're all either fat or like very thin and they don't do anything. And in January, everybody's like, all right, let's do my New Year's resolutions. I'm going to go to the gym. And that's when January, like those
My New
incels
Year's
have to go to the
resolution
gym.
is
January
I can
month,
do it.
incel month.
I won't hate women for a month.
Yeah. Let's see how it feels.
See how it feels. For
But like,
once.
I think...
No, I know. I agree. I think you're right.
And Taxi
You
Driver
are
is-
right. I mean, you are right.
Isn't it a bit
in the
strange
sense
that Taxi Driver, Travis is the hero by being bitter towards this
Yeah, he
woman
does. He does.
and then shooting
but
up
it's-
people, and then he's like, hey,
But what I like
and then
about
we
it
have
is that
school
the
shooters.
intention is that he was originally going to shoot the senator.
Yeah, and that's not great.
No, that's not great. And then he
So
doesn't
he's-
do it because he's stopped.
Yeah.
Effectively, do you see his whole Vietnam cut? He
Yeah.
gets as well. Yeah,
Yeah, that's like
he's
a
changed
suicide
whole
mission.
persona. Yeah, he's gone into suicide mission. Right, exactly. Then he gets away, and then he puts his use to he finds his next salvation, his next purpose is this. What's the name again? Iris.
Iris,
right?
yeah.
Iris to save Iris, and then he does a pretty good thing actually with killing a bunch of fucking pedophile traffickers.
Well, it is frontier justice. You can't just like decide who dies.
I think frontier justice is fine when you're shooting pedophile traffickers.
True.
I'm all for it. We need more Travises to shoot some more traffickers.
Oh, look out with that, because that's the incels again. They think they're doing
Here we
good,
go.
fair
Listen,
jobs.
incels. Okay, imagine the incels rose up and we're like, we're gonna just go for sex traffickers instead of
That's brilliant.
berating women online.
You know what that is?
What?
It's a bad writers movie.
It's a bad writer's movie. Incels becoming
and we only need $37 million to make this.
That's a good transition as well. Actually, we should, before we do that, we got to talk about Taxi Driver a little bit more. We also need to give it a rating. We're going to give it a rating here as well. All in all, cinematography, amazing. Music, amazing.
Yeah,
hearing Martin Scorsese say the N-word, amazing.
What's up? You know who's living there? And Jigger?
That's what he says that. He's straight up. But it's the 70s. I don't know.
And he wrote the script.
He wrote the script.
He couldn't help it.
He was just like, it's like Tarantino. He's like, I really just want to say this word. So I'm just going to write the script. That the whole
Did he do the same thing?
Tarantino? Yeah, he did it in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I thought so.
He did the same exact thing.
Rating.
Rating. I would give it a solid, like, 8.5.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, exactly.
Could even bump it to a 9, but
yeah, that's the
8.5,
problem.
9.
Here and there, I felt a bit like it's going a bit slow, but that's just how old movies go.
Slow.
And also about sport, like I think if he's like such a big kill or had to take for Travis or something, maybe introduce him sooner. But the question is, maybe that's not what Martin Scorsese wanted. Maybe he didn't want it at all because he wanted it to be like a bit more impulsive. Like
I think so. I think also like it's about Travis. It's not about sport. So it's like, you know, everything we see is just passing by Travis, right? So he's driving through the street, so he's observing everything. So for him to get boggled down and listen to things, he barely gets out of his car really in the movie, to be honest. He's mostly in his car, and then, you know, when some things go wrong, he gets back in the car, and he's in his apartment a lot as well. So
the problem I have with this is like I gave it an 8.5, but then why not the 10? Like what is what I'm missing? And I can't come up with anything.
I mean,
and I heard other people say like, oh, I didn't like the dialogue here and there, and sometimes the dialogue was a bit. Like,
the acting was also sometimes a bit off in the 70s. This is the way 70s acting happens.
Outside of Travis.
Outside of Travis, yeah. Like for example, when they're at the senators kind of politician rally thing. Whatever, when they're talking.
Yeah.
He's like, the acting is very much like, I'm gonna deliver my line, and you're going to deliver your line as quick as you can deliver your line.
Between Betsy and her boyfriend.
Yeah,
Albert Brooks. He wasn't that great.
So it's like, it's literally, the guy with the fro. So it's like, I'm going to go out for dinner. And then you go, you're going to go, and you just interrupt me right away. You're going out for dinner right now. I want to go out for dinner right now. You can't go out for dinner. It's like very...
It's like line. But this doesn't feel like a conversation.
Yeah, that's the.
It's like too cookie cutter. I think that's the problem.
I think I agree. Robert De Niro, I mean, we already know he kills it. Martin Scorsese kills it.
I thought Valentine was also great. Like,
he
in
was
the back
good.
of the car, he felt like a president.
He did.
He sounded like a president.
Yep, he was great. I think that was quite. Jodie Foster was great as well. This is one of her first. Well, she was a child actress from the start,
I think it was the first. Well, one of the first. It has to be the first big film, right? Or maybe
probably.
she was.
I think it's Robert De Niro's first big film too. I think. I don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but it's 75. It came out 76, right?
I've never seen him this young.
No, I've never seen him, dude. I've never seen him this young either. I've always seen him as just old dude with the. Now you saw the talking to me.
Yeah, but like speaking of dialogue, some people didn't like the movie because of some dialogue, and then they gave an example, and I didn't agree with them at all. And that was when Robert De Niro was like, he was like spilling his heart to one of the cab drivers, a wizard, that guy, the balding guy, and he was telling outside.
Right, where he's like, you know, sometimes I got some bad thoughts, man. That one, right?
Yeah, and that's a real. I think that's a real conversation. Those are real people. But then the wizard is like, he's just a cab driver.
Yeah,
he doesn't know.
He doesn't know shit.
And he's like, I don't. You know, man. It's just how it is.
You know, there's sometimes you just. I'm a cab driver. I'm a cabbie. That's what I am. Sometimes, that's just what you do is what you are. And it's because he just misses the whole point.
Exactly.
Of it,
and the people are like, "Oh, that doesn't make any sense. What is that for bad?"
Yeah.
That's great. That's realistic.
And you can see
because how many times, like,
yeah.
Please.
And De Niro can't get the words out either. He's like,
he can't express. He doesn't know.
And it's such a conversation between men.
Yes.
That I love it.
Exactly.
It's like I can't get this feeling out. This guy doesn't even understand what he's saying, so he just gives generic shitty advice. He could have inserted a sports reference, and it would have been even more manly conversation. Like,
exactly.
The ball's up, and you just gotta hit it.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. That's man. Because I remember when I was working in a restaurant, and I was 20, and working with this girl, and I didn't really know how to do it. And then there was this 29-year-old guy or 30-year-old guy. He was like, I want to get you laid. And then it's like, oh, thank you. And then he was giving me tips, right? And then I was like, well, that sounds more like trying to fuck her. But I like this girl. And he was like, I don't, you just, you just talk. And, it's exactly like that. Because he was just a kook.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with being a kook, but you're not a therapist, all right?
Yep.
And he was just a cab driver.
Yep.
And I think that was great.
And so Travis can't get help, and he's trying. And here he really is. This is his really. I'm trying to get help here, man. He realized there's some bad thoughts.
And he didn't have. He wasn't surrounded by the people who could help him. He's
surrounded by cabbies at 2 a.m. in the diner.
Yeah, that's not.
No
offense to cabbies.
To cabbies, but cabbies are.
I thought that was. Now that I think of it, that's a great scene. Yeah. I was a bit like.
I think it's a great scene.
A bit like. He isn't not really giving answers, but now when you see like why, that's great. Really
and he
good.
really goes for it. And Robert De Niro says, he says, I think, I think there's a lot of. He just keeps repeating nothing, and he's like, because he can't get the words out. He's trying to get the. And then finally he says, I got a lot of bad thoughts.
Yeah,
bad thoughts doesn't mean I'm gonna go shoot someone. Bad thoughts just means.
Well, it could mean that.
No, it does. Yeah, it means that in Travis's version, but in the cabbie's head,
or just sad or depressed. Or I don't know, doesn't want to be a cab driver anymore.
Yeah. I think it's a great example of kind of like not just men's health, but like I think it's gotten way better than it had since the 70s, of course. Mm-hmm. But there are still men out there who can't feel like they can't talk to people, or don't talk to men talking to other men.
Yeah,
like if I've heard some conversations as well, like dude, especially older dudes from like in their 50s, 40s talking to each other. I've heard it. It's a very like. They don't really express any feelings, and it's very much like if they got a negative feeling, it's just like, I'm alright. You good? I'm alright.
Yeah,
okay. And stuff like that.
They just have to keep on walking with these feelings, and then they just drop that.
Well, there you go. You don't have to, man.
No.
Talk
to us. Talk to women.
Yes.
Maybe. Talk to a therapist. With our new sponsor. No, we don't have a sponsor.
We would like a sponsor.
Yeah,
we have a... No, that's not. We're gonna get demonetized.
No.
If I talk about the league.
Yeah, we have a league,
we
guys.
Have a league.
Check it out. We will probably make some content about it maybe one day. But I want to talk more about making a movie in the modern day that is like Taxi Driver themed. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, maybe.
Taxi Driver. In nowadays, I think we just throw away the taxi driver and we just get an incel. And an incel. I don't know how they get money, incels, but I just see a guy sitting at home just being an incel and just speaking with other fucking losers on the internet.
Yep.
And that's the ones he gets advice from, just like the cabbies, right? But then he goes out and then he sees a girl there and it's like, that's the Betsy. And then he sees like all these douchebags, maybe like douchebags, like the alpha males that they always like talk about how stupid they are. Like they have those fucking comics or something, like this the Chad and this the Virgin or something. And then he sees like one of the Chad guys mistreating his girlfriend and being a bit of a dick,
Yeah, mistreating can also just mean joking around with his girlfriend.
Yeah, but he doesn't see it because he doesn't understand that you have to be a bit playful.
Precious.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. So he kills the boyfriend, and he's not gonna be the hero because he won't. Mm-hmm. So it's like take a little spin on it. And then the girl, maybe he's like I don't know how old this guy is. Maybe I think like a 26-year-old is a good age for a guy, but maybe he's also in love with this girl. And then but he's young.
I think
don't know.
Maybe not even in love. He's doting on in complete adoration. You know what I mean? There's like infatuated by the concept of this girl.
Yeah.
I think it could totally work. I mean, you could do that. I think more about the Taxi Driver way. It won't be made. I don't know if I. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not many movies about fucking child sex trafficking. Let alone
They're cuties.
Hollywood movies, American Hollywood movies.
Yeah, because they knew what was going on that island.
Yeah, that's probably why they got too many insiders there for the no. They don't
know. I don't know. I haven't seen Leon the Professional, but I know like there's a young girl on that.
It's also
who Leon takes with her. I don't know if she was like.
Well, I haven't seen that either,
No,
but
I
it's
don't know.
also an older movie. I'm talking, dude. The climate has changed in the last 10 years so much. You kidding me? From 2013 to 2023, like the things that you can and can't say, and the things that you.
I don't think they want to see girls in those positions.
I don't
understand,
either. But you know,
but it happens.
it's
and it has to be addressed.
I think so. So I don't know if they're gonna make a movie about it. I don't even know if they should. As long as basically for me the rules are if the movie's good,
then
then
that's
good.
Okay.
Then make it about whatever you want. The movie's good, it's good. Like for example, I'll put this into the limelight. There's a lot of people. There's always outrage. Let's just take if they change the race of someone, or like Little Mermaid is one.
And that's
like stuff like that.
They
Right?
change someone's race against his will.
No, he doesn't like. No, if you change the race of somebody in a movie, and there's all these people on Reddit or whatever, they get all mad. For me, it's like as long as if the movie's good, who cares? The movie's good. The movie sucks. I'm not using that as an example, but what my example is The Harder They Fall.
Yeah,
it's a movie I wanted to talk about. It's a cowboy western.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 90% of the cast is black, something like that. And people were getting pissed about them. Western cowboys that are black, towns with black people in it. I don't think there were. Correct me if I'm wrong again. I don't think there were entire towns and saloons.
Not.
Yeah, that were just for black people. I think there was a lot of racism
not
in the U.S.
functioning town, but I do think they were like just like suburbs or like a place where they all.
But you know, changing history for the sake of a good movie, a really good movie. I don't think I have too much of an issue with it, really. Like, I don't think there's an issue with making... Because I know that they were based on real people. These, how do they fall? Real black cowboys back in the day.
Yeah, but like, if you're
a black filmmaker and you want to make your characters black, that makes sense to me. I don't know. You're able... You know, I think a black guy is able to portray the life of a black guy and the difficulties of a black guy better than I could probably do it.
But like, in my opinion, is like 12 Years a Slave. You keep that person a black man if you're telling them like about that slavery, but you also have slavery all around the world. If you speak about Egyptian slave, those were Jews. I think they were like a little bit brown.
Like the Irish
or white.
as well, slaves.
Irish.
Well,
then
slaves.
you let them play. You don't gonna have a black Irish slave.
No,
vice
no,
versa.
I agree with that. Sure.
And then if it doesn't have a point to it, like if there's a reason why like all these people are black for the story.
Yeah.
Because then imagine this town is white and aliens come and white people will react this way, and then the town is black, aliens come down, then the story will be different. I think that sounds racist. So why make him black?
Well, no,
so
but
just
if you're
change
black,
the story.
but if you're a black filmmaker and you want to have black people in your film because you feel like there's, like, for example, if I'm making a film, I'll be honest, there's probably a higher chance that my main character is maybe going to be a white guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm a white guy, so I'm like, I can kind of relate to this more, and I can bring in some of my own kind of experience, and, you know, as a white guy, and it's more realistic for me to then write it accurately. For example, let's say Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
All of his movies have black protagonists because he's a black filmmaker, and he's like, I want to make stories I want to make like black inspired stories. I think that's
fine,
great.
yeah.
That's also not recreating history. It's like in the
No, that's why I don't have a problem with it.
But I don't know. I think Little Mermaid is...
That's weird.
It's weird because the way I see it, I understand both sides of the argument.
Yeah, because
I really do.
It's still a mermaid. They didn't exist.
Well, it's also like the main plot of Ariel isn't that she's white.
No.
That doesn't even feature in the film. So make her white, make her Asian, make her black, doesn't really matter. It doesn't change the story at all. You just do
what
whatever you
is very strange is like Bridgerton, was it that series?
Yeah,
like,
the one with the
Black Queen.
Yeah,
that just confuses me. Like it's just it's meant to be Victorian England. I'm quite certain there hasn't never been a Black Queen.
I mean, no, there hasn't. I don't know. I think
that's a bit strange.
Maybe I don't. I don't really give a shit about that show. I saw an episode
No.
and it was boring, so I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
I don't
quite
really.
boring,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, people probably like it. I get that's fine if you like it. No, it's not really.
Sad looks great.
That looks great. Outfits
Beautiful.
look great too. I'm not really interested in that Regency era shit. I read a book of it. It was boring. I'm so done with it. I had to do the presentation for it too. I was not too keen on it. But the point is when Disney does this to fill their Disney has a lot of. I just hate Disney live action movies. That's the main thing, and they do it to like. They know what they're doing a lot of the time. They're just yeah, that's what annoys me. If you're doing forced representation to feel like, because they can tell.
Well, they should.
Let's be honest.
Everybody's doing it.
But I'm pretty sure that black people can tell when a story has a black character in it, but has none of the research, none of the people. It's just there to fill that quota and be like, look, we got a black person in here, or we're making like, for example, let's take Finn from Star Wars. You haven't watched Star Wars, I think.
Yeah.
The new ones. He's like, he could have had a great story, and plus, like, he's the, we got like Mace Windu, and we got a Lando Calrissian as well, but we never had like a black stormtrooper, or even a stormtrooper of the. A story about the stormtrooper, and there was such a good opportunity there to make a great story, and they've had him in there. Everyone was like, "This is cool. This is great for the community that wanted to see themselves in a Star Wars movie." They've got Lando, but they're seeing themselves in this position now as the protagonist, really, of this story. And then when they kind of filled his in the first movie, they were like, "All right, we did it." And they just shoved him in the background, but they were like, "No, we did the thing. We got our black character."
And we also had an Asian girl saving him.
In a tiny scene, just to so it's like, I don't know. I think it's like, I would be pretty if I was a black dude. I think
it's so cynical. That's why it's just a cynical thing, like to do.
Yeah, I think
and that's what I think with it's the same with companies. Like, I'm fine with Pride and celebrate your that you should be accepted.
The companies don't give a fuck.
But
for
companies
11
just
months.
put a fucking flag on, and then they know exactly what they're doing because
they do.
It's gonna be Activision, this, in these countries,
And
France,
then July 1st,
and then Iraq is done. Oh, we don't nothing heard about Pride. So they're like, then they don't have a spine.
And then July 1st,
gone.
Yeah, and exactly they like let's
just
take,
from money, and that's the same with like Halle Berry in Little Mermaid.
It's like I'm pretty sure, Halle Berry. Was it Halle Berry?
I think so, yeah.
Halle Berry.
Yeah, it's a weird name, right?
Halle Berry. Bro, I swear Halle Berry is the woman from Catwoman.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
No, she's like 50, dude.
Let me check.
Her name is something Hazel or something.
Halle Bailey?
Oh, that's pretty close. Halle Bailey. Well, I haven't seen it, but I know people are pissed. What was we just saying before? Oh, yeah. Let's take, for example, with these companies, like, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it again, but I'm pretty sure League of Legends has a Pride Month where you get like skins or something like that. You get it's there, but I think it's their Turkish servers or something like that. They don't do that. It's just for the West. So they really do cherry pick where they want. They don't support it. They just support it where there is support for it, because then they can make money off of it. But when there's not support for it, they just don't. They don't do it, and then they only do it for a month, and then they cut it, and then it's like this quota that they're trying to fill. I don't know. It's so. I guess it's a step in the right direction by at least having it there. I don't know. I think it's very strange. I just see this
companies trying to make more money, and they're not changing anything about anything.
No, of course not.
Well, that was a great conversation about the new
Taxi
Driver movie.
The new Taxi Driver movie.
Do we still want to do the casting for that movie I pitched? Who you want to play the incel? Who you think is a good incel?
Who's a good incel?
I thought of who plays Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network.
Oh,
because he has to be like a. Because I was also thinking of.
I don't like that dude.
Who is that? Michael Cera, but
yeah,
he's too nice. He's too nice.
Yeah. Dude, what's his name, bro?
Who else do you think of?
I was thinking also the guy who played Riddler, but I guess Riddler's already an incel in the Batman movie.
Is he then? Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg. That's not the one from.
No, and
the other one I'd say is from the Batman. I can't remember his face. I think it's like Paul Dano, something like that. Isn't that his name?
Paul Dano. Oh,
yeah.
That's a great.
He's a great one.
He plays in the new movie Dumb Money. That's about the GameStop.
Oh.
Yeah, and he plays the cat guy or something like one of the major people behind it.
Have you seen the Batman?
He looks weird.
He doesn't. Have
Really-
you seen the Batman?
But he is a great incel.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you seen the Batman?
The
new
new
one?
one? No, I haven't seen it yet.
We gotta watch the Batman then.
All right.
If you wanna watch a great performance of an incel, watch the Batman. For
Okay,
real.
let's just keep the incel conversation going.
Yeah. Then we could go to
But-
incels next week.
Yeah, and that will be in the next week episode, maybe. All right. I want to thank everybody so much for watching and for keeping up with our rambling. But I do think we had some very interesting conversations about Taxi Driver. Well, one of the things I wanted to say I forgot was, which I completely understand. Do you remember the scene? Like, this is the last tidbit about Taxi Driver that you can take home. Is in the scene where Betsy is like running away from him because he took her to a
to a dirty
adult
movie.
Yeah, he was so embarrassed and he was so confused. He didn't know where it came from, and then he
Yeah.
was like desperate. And he tried to call her back, which is
Yeah.
I think that's what some men do. Yeah, because like they took away his goal,
Yeah.
and then he wants it back. And then we have that shot of him just dialing, right, calling and saying like and being desperate, and like please, 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 and it was painful. And then the camera it like changed from we already had like a 30 seconds of him like being desperate, and it was a bit. We've always felt a
To
bit
the
queasy.
flowers or what?
And then they turned away to the empty hallway, but the conversation kept going.
Oh yeah.
And that was like Martin Scorsese said that is because it was too painful to watch, which it was. And then you see just like an empty hallway because he's lonely.
He's lonely.
So that's I think that was a great scene. Yeah,
And then straight to the flowers as well, of which he has like. Remember the bouquets of flowers in
Yeah.
his apartment?
yeah,
Oh,
like
that's
the
hot.
more desperate.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Desperacy.
desperateness.
Desperacy.
What's that then?
I don't know.
Another
It sounds
word?
like a desperado.
It's a new word. I don't know. Desperate.
Bad writers.
Bad
There you
writers.
go,
We
yeah.
make up words because we
got
don't know words.
Desperati.
All right, thank you very much. My name was Burt Burlington. You can find me at my website, burtburlington.com, and at Burt Burlington on any social. And
Yeah, mine socials are NJ Mouritzen-Ward, and like I said, I still ain't got no website up yet. I will. The second we get that movie up, and the second we start putting these, by the time these podcasts actually, I don't know why I keep saying it, by the time these podcasts are actually going to be released, I will have a website.
Yeah,
actually,
but
so.
I knew that, but that's why
I don't know why you
said
didn't
it because I
fucking
wanted
tell
you.
me
I
that.
wanted
I've come to
keep-
that conclusion on podcast episode 4 or 5 now. So NJ Mouritzen-Ward, and I think my website's probably going to be the same name. We'll just put a link in it somewhere here.
All right.
All right,
All right,
cool.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.